So today we have Eliana with us. She's the med spa owner at Naturalist Med Spa down in a small town called Murrieta, California. We've been working together since the end of January. That's when we launched our ads. And she's gotten like amazing results. And I guess Eliana can take over here, kind of share like a little bit about yourself and I guess like where we are right now. And then we'll start asking questions. How the hell you got here?
Okay, hello guys. My name is Eliana. I'm a nurse practitioner, and yes, within a small city in between LA and San Diego. We got started with Ivan. It was January this year exactly, and it's been going great.
Well, I guess when we started, what was the revenue of the spa? Like, what was the profit of the spa? And I guess then we'll talk about like what happened 4 months later.
So when we started with working with Ivan, our revenue was about probably between 40 to 60. It will fluctuate between those two numbers through almost an entire year. We couldn't get it above. Our med spa has been open it's going to be almost 2 years. So it's a pretty new med spa. So we're going up in the right direction from when we started like at 12, 15 grand a month to like going into 40 to 60, but we got stuck at the 60. I couldn't figure out how to bring any more patients or more revenue to upscale from that.
Was it profitable? Were you guys making money or just like treading water? What was it like those like 12 months?
At that point, I was working basically like just with 2 employees. So I think we were just cutting even. I wasn't paying myself a salary too.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you scaled you scaled super quickly. A lot of it was due to you, to be honest. Like you're just really good at executing. In May, we launched the ads at like essentially the last week of January. Like we can say that we started in February essentially. And in May, like when you told me the numbers that you achieved, I couldn't believe it. I guess what were the numbers that you achieved in May, like not even 4 months later? And then how are we doing this month so far, even though we still have like a week left in July?
So I think from the beginning we were seeing the influx of money coming. So I think I had a lot of doubts about like how this was going to happen. I was like, no, like there is no way we're going to make money like so fast. I have run ads with other companies. And usually like all of them tell me, no, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to warm up. Like it's just like we have to like train the ads and get the right people. With Ivan, we got a patient the first week, I think within 2-3 days of starting the program. And the first month we made it, I think, over 100 grand, like 120. So it was very impressive. And by May, we were making, I think May was our highest month, and it was, I think, 270K.
Yeah, 185. I think it was something like that. Was crazy.
Yeah.
We still have like right now is July, which is like probably besides December is considered like the worst month for med spas. Some maybe June, like the summer months are the worst months.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Do you know what the numbers are so far? I mean, we still have a week left, but do you know what we're doing so far this month?
Yeah, I'm not scared of summers anymore. I think last month was our worst month, and I think we still made like 180K in June. And this month we're already at 220. So we actually have been really busy. We are at max capacity right now. I think I'm blocking my employee schedules because we cannot take more patients, and it's July.
Yeah, it's really hard to make the med spas happy. First they say not enough bookings, utilization is too low, and then 3 weeks later they're saying it's too high. Like this, can't make them happy. But anyways, and you really did that with just 3 rooms. Which is what's super impressive.
We have 3 working rooms. We're working hard.
And just 2 salespeople. And how many like injectors do you have?
I have an injector. I'm an injector too. And we have another one. And I have a front desk person.
So like a really lean team for like essentially we're at what? Almost a $3 million, like a $2.5 million business with just like a team of less than 10 people, right?
Yes. Like my total team is, I think 7 people.
I mean, how does it feel?
It's good. I think we're like needing more people, but like our space is small. So like there is no place to even sit one more person in our space. We are trying to find a bigger location. We're waiting to move, hopefully by the end of the year. And we're making it work.
Making it work.
Right now.
What's, I guess, I mean, when you were doing stuff on your own and try to make it work, I mean, you've worked with a lot of other people before. And versus now, I guess, like, what else have you achieved, like, besides just, Boulevard report, like, numbers on a screen? Like, what else kind of, maybe, like, a confidence in the future or, just, like, I guess, what else has changed in your life besides just, hey, Boulevard is showing me I'm making more money?
No, I think it has made a big difference in not just my life, but like the life of all of our employees. I think everyone feels very secure working for us. They know they're always gonna have a good income. They're happy with their incomes. They have been growing and growing more. And for me personally, I think I was able with a new business. I had some debt. I was able to pay off all the debt. I think that was in April, maybe. And so, like, we just did a lump sum payment, and the med spa became debt free. So that has been great for us.
I mean, I can't imagine, to be honest, what that feels like to like not have to have a debt over your head.
And I think, like, when you're like running a smaller med spa too, like every single bill that you start getting every month is kind of like it's hard to pay them. Like right now, we don't have an issue like with all the buying more products, buying this, like upgrading things. It has made it a lot easier for us to make sure that we have every single thing that we need, that we're never running low, that we are overstocked. So yeah, that has made a big difference.
It feels like now there's less stress about, like, it's just not about survival now. It seems like, I mean, you tell me, it feels like before maybe you were like just trying to survive and make sure we get to the next month. Whereas now it's just about, just how can you're just looking forward essentially with the team.
Yeah, no, like I think we are overflowing. I think and I think a very important part of the business for me was to make sure that we have like a security blanket. And I have been able to build that too. So we have like 2 months of like all expenses paid for now. So not just we pay debt, like I also was able to build up that account and make sure that we are good for 3 months if something were to happen.
That's great. Eliana, I wanted to talk about something that's like it's like an elephant in the room for a lot of spas, which is with like people's beliefs.
Yeah.
We all question, but not the beliefs that we truly believe in. Those ones we never dare to question. I remember when we first had like our first call and I was telling you about the program, like you were really convinced and you had some good arguments. You live really close to the border. You're seeing what the other spas are doing relative to your area. And one of the beliefs that you had that a lot of spas have, that your area can't support high prices. Some spas, especially spas that do PCDC, they are convinced that PCDC can never be sold for high prices. It's just a race to the bottom. I remember even you had someone come on, like a professional, like some sort of local professional, to convince me that it wasn't going to work in the area. I remember I was showing you the map, the income map. I was like, I don't know why you're saying this. You got rich people there. And why did you decide to challenge that belief? Because that's difficult for a lot of people. And I guess, how did it break? What happened that caused it to break? And I guess, like, how did things change after that? Like, what happened next?
Okay, so the belief. Yeah, like I didn't believe we could sell 3,900 packages. Like the people that I was probably like targeting with my ads and what I was doing, like it was a lot of people just asking for promotions and things like that. So when you told me we were going to sell 3,900 packages, this is not happening here. I get every other patient is telling me they're going to Mexico for their treatments and that they can get a better deal there. This is just not going to happen in this area. So what happened with that? I think, why did I decide to challenge that? Because I know I don't know it all. And I didn't think the investment was so high for me to not be able to take a risk. So just investing on you, like I was like, okay, like if I lose something, it's going to be like the first week is going to be $10,000. And I think in the first week, like with ads, with everything. And you promised me that you were going to give me the money back if we didn't get the patients. But like, I think like within the first 2 days we made the money. So I was like, okay, like you were like, if you don't sell them, like I'll refund the money. So I was like, okay, like I'm not losing that much. I'll lose a little bit of money on ads or something, but like it's not going to be such a big deal.
Yeah. So you were very studious about learning the sales process. I remember when we had like our onboarding call, it doesn't happen with a lot of spas, but it was with you and you had your salesperson, Mish. And I just remember we joined, it was like super early morning for you guys. Like you were like, hey, can we do like 6 a.m. something crazy? I remember I was at the airport. I had a layover. I was like, yeah, I could do it during the layover. It was me at the airport with planes behind me. You guys groggy-eyed and I was doing sales training calls. And you guys came like prepared on that call. You guys watched everything. You guys had both your notepads out. When you were learning the sales process, it was obviously probably very foreign to what you guys were doing previously at the spa. Did you have any concerns where you think like this ain't gonna work? Like this is a fairy tale? Did you think maybe it was too aggressive? Like did you have any, like what were your thoughts when you kind of started going through the trainings?
Yes, I think like coming from a clinical background, it sounded a little bit pushy and weird, like it didn't sound natural to me. But I think we learn to use, like once you know the script well and you can apply, it starts sounding pushy.
Yeah.
It starts sounding more natural and better. So you have to memorize it and you need to know what you're saying and like the reasoning for everything. And once you know that, it stops sounding like robotic and mechanic and pushy.
Why, I guess, why did you, a lot of people, when that reaction that you had in the beginning, you said, hey, look, this sounds pushy. This isn't how we do things. This sounds robotic. For a lot of people, that is what stops them from doing it, like learning it and actually trying to get it right. Like, what was the reason why you decided that, you were going to actually like go past that barrier and actually like get to the other side?
I think that goes more back to like the way I know I don't know it all. And I'm always going to give anything a fair try. I'm like, I'm going to try this. And if it doesn't work, then we'll switch and we'll figure out a different way. But like I'm open-minded and I'm open to learning and knowing new things. And I'm always going to give something a try. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But like there is no reason not to try something new. You don't own all the knowledge. So there is no reason not to try something different.
So essentially you kind of gave yourself did you give yourself hey, it sounds like what you're telling me is that, hey, I'm going to try it, but I'm not going to half-ass it. I'm going to give it a real shot, go all the way to make sure that I can genuinely tell myself it didn't work. I tried my best and it didn't work. What, did you give yourself a time limit? Like, hey, I'm going to try it for 1 month, give it my all, see how it works? Or did you?
No, I don't think I had a time limit. I was like, let's just give it a try. But everything was working, so it didn't make sense to stop doing what we were doing.
Okay, it just started working really quick. Well, you guys put in a lot of upfront investment in terms of time investment to actually learn it. So that's what I have to give you guys a lot of credit for that. Not a lot of spas do that.
Yeah.
So I remember you had a unique case. You were actually the first spa. Do you remember when you were like, hey, I don't want to do sales. I want to give sales to Mish, the other salesperson, and I'll handle the operations. And I remember back then I told you, hey, we've never done this before where we haven't had the owner do sales. It's funny now, Elian, I don't know if I told you this. We were thinking why did you scale so quickly? And the main difference between you and the other spas was that obviously you execute fast, you're intelligent, hardworking, and all of those character traits. But we have spas that are like that as well. And they don't scale as quickly. And they're in better areas than you are, maybe a more populous city. But I think the main difference is that actually it was that we had a separate salesperson who could attend the calls and learn the script. And then we had a separate operator. And so instead of having one person kind of do both, we had two people. And so you guys could keep up with each other as the problems came. Do you think that was super important, or what do you think about my theory?
No, I think that's important. And I think for me, it allowed me to hold the team more accountable. If I was doing sales and seeing patients and doing all this, I wasn't going to have time to review sales scripts to make sure that they were doing the right thing, to go over a lot of the operations that we needed to do. So that gave me more time for those things.
Yeah, I feel because to be honest, I was just surprised when I remember you'd ask me a question, hey, Ivan, how do I solve this problem? I tell you the answer, and you already executed it by the afternoon. I was like, geez, Eliana's freaking making me nervous because she's going to catch up to where I am, and then I'm not going to have anything to teach her anymore. I remember at the beginning, we had an issue that is really common, and you were ruthless about making sure that it got solved. And that was the fact that Mish, when she's a naturally gifted salesperson, that's what we look for. But for her, as you said, the script was alien. She didn't feel natural. And she was getting good results when she started. She was a solid B+, but she wasn't learning the script. And typically I have to convince the owners, hey, the script has to be learned by someone at the spa. But you were the only spa that's ever pestered me about it. I guess, why were you so adamant about Mish learning the script, even though she was already doing decent? Why were you so adamant about it? And I guess, if you recall, how do we end up solving that problem? Because now Mish is one of the top salespeople, definitely in the top 3, and she knows the script the back of her hand. It's actually quite inspiring how well she understands the whole sales process.
I think it was super important to me that we have a process for everyone. And I was really afraid to like have every single patient hitting a different sales pitch and complaining about what we were saying to them. So I think like it eliminated a lot of problems, but like, okay, like this is all we're telling them. We're not like deviating from this. And we have a reason for saying those things.
Were you concerned that Misha's sales would drop while she was learning a process that she didn't have organically?
Yes. And I think like while they memorize the script, like their sales drop a little bit, but then it just goes back up naturally.
Well, I think it's actually double. I don't know if you know this. Her revenue is per appointment is double what it was when she started off. So like it's like amazing. How did you convince her to like actually learn it? Because I remember she was given some pushback, and I think for a lot of, it was one thing that I was, remember, if you remember, it was one thing I was worried about was that the salesperson can have a lot of leverage over your business because they feel like they're responsible for the revenue, and you can't tell them what to do because they're the revenue generators. How did all this go down?
I think it was a lot of sitting with them and going over the script, listening to the recordings, and making sure that like they were not deviating, that they were like if they were missing something, I was reminding them and going over and over like the recordings. I think that's the main thing.
This is just hard work. I guess that's the next question is, so I remember with Mish, for example, I remember where I was like, I remember the room I was in exactly when Mish like joined the sales training call. We do daily sales training calls. She joined the sales training call and she had like a rough day, previous day. And she came on, I asked her, hey, what happened with these 4 appointments? And she was just like, oh, those were impossible to close. They talked about the promo. This one had the husband, and this one was going to go to Tijuana to get it for cheaper. And I told her like exactly how to solve like all 3 of those problems. And after that, I started seeing Mish join a lot more often. And I think that was when Mish was like understood. It was like, oh, dang, there's actually like ways to solve these things that I didn't realize they could be solved. How do you, like a lot of spas, they get stuck at the point that you're at right now, which is when they start having salespeople, they don't realize that their responsibility change to sales manager. Like they just have the salespeople and they expect the salespeople just to go about their own way. How much time do you invest every day on managing your salespeople? What exactly do you do? And like, how do you manage it? Because a lot of spas, they feel like they don't have enough time to manage, which is ridiculous.
Gosh, how do I manage it? I wake up at 4:30 in the morning every day to review sales scripts, sales for the day before, numbers, what went wrong, what went well. And then by 7 in the morning, everyone is hearing from me. Okay, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to improve. This is the plan for today. Also, they are scheduled 2 times a week to be with you. I think sometimes, like once in a while, they miss the 2 times a week, but they are blocking their schedules to make sure that they are able to attend 2 of the sales trainings with you. So I think that helps a lot. Just checking their numbers, checking their recordings, and sending feedback. I love to send the feedback before I start the day, because that's going to help us like start the day on the right track and make sure that we're not making the same mistakes.
Yeah, it's like, so do you do like 30 minutes or during like in the morning where you rehearse or anything like that? Or is it just like text messages that you're giving them feedback?
Some text messages some days, and some days we start like usually 30 minutes before, and then we go over certain things.
Okay. Those certain things, like what, could you give an example of what things you go over?
Sometimes it's going over the script. If I see that they're starting to go from the script away, like then it's like, okay, like let's like memorize, did you memorize the script? Grab it, and like I grab it with me and I'm like, okay, let's do it. Sometimes we do a mock Excel when I am the patient, and I'm gonna come up with all kinds of objections. So we do different things to like get them going.
There's one thing about your team is that your team is very rarely do I see them like starting to degrade in terms of following the process. It's always nice when your team joins on the calls, because I always feel like we're progressing instead of repeating what we just talked about 2 weeks ago. And I think it's one of the reasons why your team typically, I think your team didn't join for like 2 weeks and then we saw a dip. And then right away, as soon as they joined, went back up. Yeah. Like I think yesterday was amazing, right? Or was the day before yesterday? It was like amazing in sales. Oh, not yesterday. Yesterday you guys were closed. So Wednesday was like an amazing day for sales. Coincidentally, I think it was like the day after they joined the call. And so, yeah, your team has been like a delight to work with. And it's been crazy just every single month, better or the same as the previous month, which has been crazy.
Yeah,
how do you...
They're pretty good.
yeah, they're pretty good. How do you... A lot of spas, they have trouble it's like funny. Some med spas don't have a problem with this at all. And for other med spas, it is a impossible grind, which is like, how do you find injectors? And I see some spas, they're paying their injectors like 70. I met with one spa that was paying her injector like 120 an hour. I don't even know why she was doing Botox. It's like just straight negative. Like, how do you find injectors? Like, how much do you pay them? And how do you convince them to work for, not $120 an hour?
Okay, so I think we had like that program where like we train new injectors and have been
what's it
able
called?
to, like it was a mentorship. So we were
Yeah.
able to get some people like that. But I think that has been the main thing. I pay my injector $35 an hour. We're in California, which is an area where they get paid higher. In my med spa, every single person has very low base salaries. They need to get their bonuses. So they need to learn to sell. They need to learn to upsell the patients too, and that's how they make the most money. And I think it has been like being willing to train some that like has the right personality, because it's easier to find someone with the right personality that you can train on that skill. A lot of new nurses are willing to, like, they love to go into aesthetics. So like if you're willing to train someone, they're probably willing to like take a little pay cut to like get into the business.
I mean, so many people want to work at a med spa. I assume there's like a huge demand that people want to work for you. But I guess, how do you find the person? Like, do you just post an ad on Indeed? Do you just post on Instagram? We posted
on Indeed, and that's how we got like some people. And also what we get like calls every single day from nurses that like are looking for someone that they can shadow, that they can do something with. So we have like a backup of resumes of people that like are interested and just coming and being there, like to get some experience, because most med spas won't allow to work anyone without experience. And injecting PCDs is actually not like a hard skill to learn, so it's not that difficult to train them on that.
Yeah, I mean, it takes like a few days?
Yeah.
Yeah, one day. No, it's been amazing. So this is something that spas like often complain about, and you guys, I know right now is the summer months, so it's a little bit, you're still going to have it a bit, but for May, for example, I think we decreased the no-show rate down to almost 0%. Like, it was like the cost per booking was almost the same as the cost per show in May. Is there like a simple thing that you guys implemented to like completely kind of mitigate the no-shows?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. We send an email when we book the appointments. 2 days before, they get another email. They get a text message 2 days before. They get a phone call the day before, and they get a text message the day of the appointment. At 8 a.m., everyone gets a message like, we're looking
they get one from us
to
as
see
well.
you today. Yeah.
But that call the day before, I think that one had the biggest like impact on the show rate. Would you say so, or is there something else?
What did you say, Ivan?
Oh yeah. So out of all those, because I remember you were doing a lot of those things, like you were doing all those things besides the call. And I think when you implemented the calling, that's when there was a huge spike in like increase in show rates. Or am I wrong? What would you say?
I think like from the beginning we have had like similar systems. We were not calling the patients. We were relying just on the text messages. So I think starting to call has helped us. And like not just that, like I think like the calling just like prompts the patients to cancel faster. So we just don't have the shows, no shows. I think calling, like once the patients see the call, at least they decide to tell us, yeah, we're not coming.
Yeah. Well, essentially it gives us a chance to like still fill up the spot. And also a lot of times they say, oh, I forgot about it. Could you reschedule me? And then they do show up for that new time. I think you mentioned this.
Yeah, most of the time they do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's been great. I remember in the beginning, like there was I think it was like in March or April, you had like 2-3 weeks where you were getting crazy cancellations on people that purchased the package, and people like doing chargebacks or asking for refunds. It was like, it felt like more than $5,000 a week. That just like money was just like leaving the spa. How did you solve that? Like, how did you solve that problem, I guess?
Cancellation.
Yeah, like cancellations in terms of like once they bought the package, so they wanted like a refund on the package.
We have like a form that they signed that like we're not offering any refunds.
All right.
So that's one thing. Even though like we probably will do it like if it's for the right reason, like they signed that. So I think that has helped a lot. I think we changed our language on not telling all the patients that we give the money back.
Right.
We reserve that for very specific situations. I think we were telling every single person that like they could get their money back. And I think that was just like prompting everyone to just come back to get a refund because they saw that they were a little bit swollen. And I think like our consultation process improved too. I think like the expectations like of the treatment plan, like they're going like the swelling, like we were very clear about like what they're getting through without scaring them, of course. And I think that also helped a lot.
I think,
do that once in a while, but it's very seldom now.
yeah, it is quite seldom now. I think calling the next day, has that helped quite a bit? Like seeing how they're doing? I think calling the next day has helped, like after they do the treatment. Has that helped a lot?
Okay, yeah, I forgot that we do that.
And then doing a lower dose on the first session.
We were doing a lower dose for a little bit, so that I don't know if it helped or not. I think like we're doing the same dose for everyone now. Definitely, we're calling every single person the next day and making sure that we follow up on how their treatment is going, if they have any side effects. So I think that has helped a lot of the patients. Like they have more peace of mind knowing that like we're following up and that like this is normal, that like it's not gonna be like lasting that long. So yeah, that follow up helps a lot. The day of the consultation, the patients go through so much and they get like so much overload of information that I think like following up that next day helps a lot.
Yeah. I like once we start doing that, like drastically decrease the cancellations. I have like two more questions, but one more question about your business. I remember you reached out and you said, hey, like I need like a VA, and I sort of a virtual assistant for people that don't know. And you went ahead, like I gave you like a few tips and you went ahead and implemented those. How did you like find this VA? How relatively easy was it? Do you have any tips, and how has it been so far?
Okay, for finding the VA, it was in Indeed in Colombia. I made sure that it was a Colombian account. We paid for to make sure that we were like getting on top like with the ad.
Yeah.
I think I put a pretty good ad. We got like probably like 140 applicants in a week. I had to turn it off. And we requested that they submit a video and a resume. I think probably half of the participants didn't submit a video, so those were immediately just out. And then I started watching videos, choosing the best people, and went through like probably, I think we ended up with like probably 4 pretty good candidates. And I have, I think, a perfect virtual assistant right now. She's amazing. She's actually going to come and visit us, I think, next month. So, and she's going to see how our operations work. That way she can understand how like our entire process is, and she can help us better from where she's at.
Why is she, like, how much do you pay if you don't mind sharing that information? And because I remember how much? $8 per hour. Yeah, I think you asked me, and I recommended not trying to go like as cheap as possible. Like try to go like medium, or like essentially like cheap for like entry level for US, but that is like medium or upper end for the countries that you're hiring from, and you'll just get a higher quality person. And I know she's still training and you're still in the middle of like showing her everything and assigning her responsibilities, but like how has that helped you so far?
It has taken a lot of like the repetitive tasks that I had on my hands.
Yeah.
I used to like do chart reviews and make sure that like there are no consents missing, that there are like everyone is doing their documentation, following up with payment plans, calling the patients, answering the phone calls. We don't answer any phone calls in the med spa anymore. Monica is picking up everything. So yeah, she has taken a lot of from our plates. Right.
It's been like a huge change in the business. I guess one last question is like, how has it been like working with Newly Booked with our team? Has it exceeded your expectations? And if so, like how? And like, would you recommend us to another spa? And I guess like why?
I think working with your team has been amazing. I think you have invested a lot of money on making sure that we have all the resources to succeed. Every single thing that we have needed to succeed in the program, and even things that we don't think about, like I think you have made a pretty good job on making sure that we have those things. Everyone that is answering phone calls and following up with the leads has been amazing. You guys are super responsive. The team is very respectful. They're nice. They are a little bit aggressive on calling the patients and making sure that they come. But I love that because that's how we get our patients in the door. So, but like everyone has been amazing. Like from like the girls like picking up, like your success team, you like investing all the time that you put into training the sales team every single day at 9 a.m. So we feel really supported, and I already recommend people to you. So
no, it's been great. Perfect. I mean, thank you so much, Elian, for doing this. I mean, I think you're going to help like a lot of spas with this. And I mean, my goal for your spa is to hit like $500,000 to $700,000 a month, and with
I need
with
3
our
extra
help.
rooms.
Yeah, we need like 5, 6 rooms would be great.
Yeah.
And let's freaking rock and roll, dude. It's
Yeah.
gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing.